Welcome back to my channel, and today I think this is a fantastic little project for you. It does use a little bit of material, so just keep that in mind. And we do have a couple of different sizes. So this size here is your basic 8 by 10 size, okay? And it can fit the cards just perfectly. This is what this one was sized for, so you can fit them in there and in this front portion here, okay? And these are those 8 by 10 versions. This one I know because not everybody has an 8 by 10. This one is a 6 by 10. Now you can fit the cards nicely in here. However, fitting a card into the front slot, as you can see, is a little bit more of an issue. Now you can squeeze it in if you really wanted to use it for that. So there you go. You can see that it will fit, but in the front there, the card is just a little bit of a tight fit in this 6 by 10 version. All right. And then we have this version, which is an 8 by 10 hoop as well, but it is spaced out a little bit further in the hoop, which makes it a little bit bigger. And as you can see, you can fit quite a few of the cards back here, okay? And then in the front, again, they fit with no issue into the front if you want to keep one there. And then this little pocket in the center here is nicely enclosed, so you can put all kinds of little things in there. You can put change in there without it falling out. I'll just put a few of these so you can see. All right. And there's no way it's going to fall out of there. 9 by 14 version, but I don't have that hoop, so I cannot show it to you. So the one that we are going to be doing today in the tutorial is this one. And what I'm also going to be showing you in the tutorial is to add this little side piece for the little wrist strap that you can put on it. Okay, and then it makes a little fabulous take-along wallet. Or, as I have done with these ones, you don't need to add that at all, and you can just take it with you in your purse. All right, so let's get started on this fantastic little wallet. All right, to get started for today's project, we actually do need quite a bit of material, so I highly recommend doing it on scrap material first before you use your good material, just to make sure it's something you want to continue to make or that you like it. So the thing that we need for the side tab, which is like a snap tab really, you need a front and a back material and a D-ring. For the flat piece, you need a front and a back material, and I'm using vinyl for that, but you could use felt or a different vinyl, but you just need a front and a back. And then for the inside flap, you also need a front and a back, and for that I am using a felt on one side and a vinyl on the other. For the main bag, you need a piece of inside material, which I'm using felt, and you need a piece of outside material, and for that I am using the vinyl. You're going to need rivets for this project, and I am using a double cap rivet, which means it has the same head on both ends. Let's see here. All right, so this is a 9mm double cap rivet, and you need something with at least a 10mm to 12mm post. All right, and then we also need some sort of a snap. You could use cam snaps if they're long enough. I prefer these little button snaps that look like this. Okay, and you will need a couple of those. All right, so to get started, we are going to do what we usually do and run the placement stitches on the stabilizer, and I'm using a lightweight tearaway, and I have combined the inside pocket and the flap and the tab into one hoop for myself, although they come separately in the design. All right, so let's go run that. All right, so I went and I ran that, and I do, like usual, I ran it without thread in my machine, but I did outline it so you can see it. So we have the inside flat piece. This is where the snap goes up here. This is the bottom part. And then up here we have the flap portion, and this is the flap part here, and the snap will go here, and this is the part that's going to get attached to the main piece and the tab piece. All right, so the next thing that we have to do for this is all we have to do is put the material on. So I like to start with the back and then move on to the front. Now that we are done that, we take it back to the machine and it's going to run all the finishing stitches, and you run the snap placements. And that is done. There's the front, there's the back. The next thing to do is cut them out. And now for this one. The thing that we have that's a little different with this one is we have this piece here. So whatever is your front and whatever is your back, you need to make sure that you leave material on the front piece that comes down the bottom, so this can attach to the main bag piece. So you cut off this side and the front part, but you leave the back. Don't cut that. However, if you want to take a little bit of the bulk from the inside of it, you can cut this and leave about 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch in here. All right, so we have these pieces cut out now, and this is what they are supposed to look like when done. And with this one, you have to make sure that you leave this material, because this amount plus its seam is going to need to be attached on this next hooping. All right, so we are going to set these aside for now, and we are going to get started on the main bag piece. So I went back and I did the placement stitch for this hooping. And again, I ran it without thread, but I did draw it for you. So we can have a look here. It's a nice big oval. And this part at the top here is where the flap is going to attach. So if you have a material you want to face up, just remember that this is going to be the back of the pouch, and this area here is going to be the front of the pouch, and these are the sides. All right, so the next thing that we have to do for the main piece is we are running the bottom material first. So you turn it over to the back of the hoop, and whatever piece you are going to be using for the lining is added onto the back, spray it or tape it in place. And now we are going to take it back to the machine, and it is going to run the lines that are going to show you the pocket placement and where to fold it. And there we have it. So you can kind of see it. We've got the lines here, okay? And then this is the underside. And the next thing that we have to do is we need to add the front vinyl piece to this. So again, remember that this is going to be the back of the pouch, and this is where the two snaps are. Let's see that there. So we've got the two little snap holes, and this is the front of the pouch. So if you have vinyl going a specific way, just remember that. So all you need to do is add the vinyl to the front, either spray it or tape it, okay? And then we take it back to the machine, and it's going to run the big oval. So I am back, and I went and ran that big oval for the main pouch. Okay, so the next thing that we have to do is we need to add the flap. Now, I know it looks sort of difficult, but it really is not. When you line it up, you just need to make sure that you're lining it up exactly. And if you do that, then all your lines will match. Just take the time to line it up. So what we need to do is we need to flip it over to the back, and we need to go to the top portion where the flap is going to be added. Now you can't see that anymore because that was on the placement stitch. However, you know that these two here are the snap placements, and this is the front of the pouch, and it angles in this way. So the back of the pouch is the one that is really a rectangle, and I have it written here. And what you need to do is where this meets the oval and this meets the oval, you need to put pins through the corner holes that are exactly there. All right, so we see that, and there's holes there. You don't need to make extra holes. And then we need to flip it over to the other side. And I find the easiest thing to do is mark where that hole is. All right, and I know it's a little tricky to see, but you can see those two little marks here. And then what we need to do is on the flat piece, you need to take those pins again. And since this is the flat part with the snap, we want the long edge. And at the very corner where it meets, you want to put a pin in the hole there. All right, so just like that, you can see they're coming through. All right, and all you do is line this line up with this line and make sure those pins go in through the corner holes. All right, so you really need to tape it down very well. And then this line is matching up very nicely to that line. And when you do that, don't tape the corner area because the circle is going to go from that corner to that corner. And as long as you've lined it up, it'll be perfect. All right, so let's take it back to the machine and do that. And there we have it, guys. It is done. It's completed. We've done this portion on the top there. And you can see that once you get that lined up properly, it does line up, and you do have an extra line under there. And then we have these rivet holes that were all done. So there's the underside. Okay, and the next thing that we have to do is we need to cut it out. But before you take it out of the hoop, while it's still flat like this, what I like to do is cut off the excess material on the flap. Okay, so now this part of the pouch is done, and we are going to go over to my cutting table so that we can put the holes and put this whole thing together. Right, so here we are at my cutting table so that we can finish this project up. And as you can see, we have the main piece, we have a pocket piece, and we have the optional piece that goes on the side for the D-ring tab. And so the next thing that I like to do is I like to punch the holes for the rivets, and then I also like to add the snaps at this point. But you don't have to add the snaps now if you don't want to use the places that I have marked for the snaps. If you have a thicker material or a thinner material, yours might fold a little different. So however, what I'm going to do right now is add those things. And this thing here is one of my favorite ever tools. It is called a screw punch or a Japanese screw punch. And if you're going to get one, you want the real brass version. It's also called a drill press. All right, so now we have these snap holes, which are these two holes here, and this one up here is a snap hole, and these other 8 holes are the rivet holes. Okay, this is a snap hole, and these are rivet holes. So this one, because I am adding it, the D-ring goes on there like it would, kind of like a snap tab. All right, so now the thing to add the pocket piece on the inside is you want to make sure that your nice stitching for the flap is going to be folded and come to the outside, so whichever one you want like that. And you have a line that goes here, and this line matches up with this line that goes straight across. So I just like to fold this pocket piece, and if you don't have one, something to add to your collection would be a brayer. It just helps keep this material folded. Okay, and then I just like to line that up to there so I know I have my pocket in the right place. Now on this piece here, you have all these lines that go out, and these are the lines on where the pocket piece is going to attach to and make the folds. So what you need to do is with your piece here, this corner piece and this corner piece will attach to the first outside ones, and this line here, not the first line but the underline, those ones will attach to these back ones. So to do that, you actually have to mark the hole on here because I didn't put it there. It's a little finicky. So just line this up, make sure you have it in the right place. Okay, and then with the line that we have on here, so on the first one, you line it up to the top. Okay, so you see the line right down the middle, you line it up to that, and then keeping this at the top, you pinch that into the center. Okay, so now it's nicely lined up there, and mark the hole. With a pencil. Okay, now when you take it out, you can see where the hole goes. So if it's too close to the edge, just move it over a little. Yep. So there we have the hole. All right, so back here we go. So what you want to do is, here's your back fold piece, here's your front, okay, and you put that back in there, and you take a rivet, and the rivet goes on the outside piece. So if we're looking at it like this, it goes through the first piece, then it goes through this piece, and then it goes through the front. And okay, so now our piece kind of just looks like this. Okay, and so you do that same thing with this side, and the other side. All right, before I do the last hole, I want to make sure we don't forget the D-ring. So for this one over here, what I do, and you really do need a long rivet for this, so you put it on the outside, then you put it through, then you put this piece through, and that's the inside piece, right? You put the inside piece through, okay, and make sure you get your D-ring on there. So you need enough sticking out that it's going to go through all the rest of it. So then the back hole. So you can see how really thick that one is. So you need a long rivet if you're going to add this piece. So I am going to use my table press to put these rivets in place. All right, so now we've done that, and I usually add the snaps first, but you know, I forgot. All right, so we need to add the snaps to the front and the flaps. All right, and it really is almost done now. So what we need to do is you just need to fold the sides and push them in. And so these two lines here that are in the front that were not used yet, you've got one on this side and one on this side. So that's where your fold goes in the front. So you just fold along there. Okay, and so now all you have to do is just kind of fold it up into place. And there we go. And there you've got it. So, place to attach your strap. inside pocket here, another little flap there. All right, I really hope that you enjoy this project. I hope the tutorial is helpful, and if you haven't yet, please subscribe, smash that subscribe button. And if you like the video, give me a thumbs up and have a wonderful day.